A very good day to all. My name is Devarajan, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Devarajan College of Engineering, Madurai. I am going to teach you about microcontrollers 8051 features. For a microcontroller, there are three criteria in choosing. First one, to meet the computing needs of the task efficiently and cost effectively, for which we need to understand the concepts like speed, the amount of ROM and RAM, the number of I/O ports and timers, size, packaging, power consumptions. Like all these criteria should be met with the computing needs. Second criteria is availability of software development tools. First one, assemblers, debuggers, C compilers, emulators, simulators, and technical supports. And the third criteria is wide availability and reliable source of the microcontrollers. The availability of the microcontroller is there is plenty of availability for microcontrollers. Second one is there are 8 basic components of 8051. They are ROM, RAM, I/O ports, timers and counters, serial interfaces, memory codes, memory data, and bit addressability data. For a ROM, there are 4K bytes internal ROM, read-only memory, and 128 bytes internal RAM, random access memory. There are 4 8-bit I/O ports, port 0 to port 3, 2 16-bit timer and counters, and 1 serial interface. There are 64 K external memory for codes and 64 K for external memory for data, and 210-bit addressable memory. And the 8051 contains 8-bit CPU optimized for control applications and the capability for single-bit Boolean operations. It has a capability for single-bit Boolean operation. It supports up to 64K of program memory and data memory, 4K bytes of on-chip program memory. There are new devices provided more. If new devices are provided, the 4K bytes need to be increased, and 128 or 256 bytes of on-chip data RAM. There are 4 8-bit ports, 2 16-bit timers or counters, and interrupts, 1-chip clock oscillators. The oscillators may be a crystal oscillator, and also there are UART ports. The block diagram of a microcontroller is these are the components like interrupt controls. Interrupt controls contains interrupt controls like int0, int1, RxD, TXD are the examples of interrupt controls. And a CPU oscillator, crystal oscillator circuit, and on-chip ROM for program codes, on-chip RAM, and timer counter circuits. There are bus controls, and there are 3 bus type controls: address, data, and control. There are 4 I/O ports of 8 bits and serial ports TXD, RxD. The internal block diagram of 8051 contains a crystal oscillator which provides a circuit input for timer and control circuits, and the input in turns gets the inputs from the 4 I/O ports, which in turns the I/O ports gives the input to the accumulator, a general purpose register, which will be stored in a temporary register, and from that register arithmetic logic units performs the arithmetic and logic operations which are necessarily required. That means either may be a addition, subtraction, multiplication, whatever the operations may be, it performs the operations and stores the output in the register accumulator. Then the accumulator will be transforms the output to the required address, which will be shown as the output. Next one, there are 40 pins in 8051, 4 8-bit I/O ports. That means port 0.0 to 0.7 is an address data pin, and port 1.0 to 1.7 is a general purpose register pins. Port 2.0 to 2.7 is the address pins, and also port 3.0 to 3.7 is the interrupt pins. Also RST is the reset pin, and XTAL1 and 2 are the 2 crystal oscillator inputs, and GND is the ground pin, VCC is the voltage supply, EA is the external access enable port, and ALD is the address latch enable port, and PESEN port. First 0.0 ports, 0.0 to 0.7 ports is the input I/O ports, that means address data pins. There are 8-bit read-write memory, read-write ports, and general purpose I/O registers. These are, and it acts as a multiplexed low byte address and data bus for external memory design. Port 1 contains only 8-bit read-write memories and general purpose I/Os. Ports 1.0 to 1.7. The port 2 contains pins 21 to 28. It has a 8-bit read-write general purpose I/O or high byte of address bus for external memory design. Port 3 contains pins 10 to 17 like read, write, T1, T0, timer 1, timer 0, timer 0, interrupt 1, interrupt 0, TXD, RXD are the serial ports. These are the general purpose I/Os, and if not using any of the internal peripherals or external interrupts, they are used. These are the alternative functions of the port 3. RXD and TXD are the serial input output ports. Interrupt 0, 1 is the external interrupt 0, 1. T0, T1 acts as timer 0, timer 1 for external input. Read, write, ALE address latch enable to select valid address. EA external access to enable external access. EA0 for external memory. EA1 for internal memory. VPP which it receives 21 voltage for on chip EPROM. PSEN program store which enables store to read the external program memory. The advantages of microcontroller based systems are, as the peripherals are integrated into a single chip, the overall system cost is very less. The product of small size is of small size compared to microprocessor based system. The system design which requires very little efforts. As the peripherals are integrated with a microprocessor, the system is more reliable. Though microcontroller may have on-chip ROM, RAM and I/O ports, additional ROM, RAM, I/O ports may be interfaced externally when required. On-chip ROM provides a software security. Let us see the next chapter.